It is currently negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is also negative 40 degrees Celsius. Good morning. It was brutally cold last night. It was negative 24 degrees Fahrenheit when we pulled into camp and got down to about negative 29 last I checked before going to sleep. We've been running the engine heating system off the Expion360 battery for the last 2.5 hours, trying to get the engine warm before we turn it on, and should be good to go. So let's go give it a shot, and then we'll get packed up and head north to Fairbanks. All right, let's turn the car on without starting the engine. So we got negative 18, and we got okay, that's not terrible. So I was able to get the coolant and oil temperature up from negative 20, negative 18 to right about 0, negative 1 degrees, and didn't sound terribly happy to start, but it still started without issue. So we're gonna let the engine warm up for a couple minutes, get some heat going while we shut down the diesel heater and pack up the tent, and then we're good to go. Plan today is to get up to the Healy area, so a couple hours north, refuel on some gas and diesel, recharge some batteries, and then find a place to camp. So as I was packing up, I looked around and realized that with the way the river's frozen, we can likely get back on some trails. So airing down the tires to about 7 psi so we can do some snow wheeling, and then we're gonna go hit some of the trails down the Susitna River. back up and stopped off at the Vitus in Trapper Creek. It's usually the cheaper of the couple gas stations once you get out of the Wasilla area. Unfortunately, their cafe is now closed. It sounds like they're closing for the winter. Gas station stays open, but they used to have a cafe that was open year-round. It now sounds like it's only going to be open Memorial Day to Labor Day. So, picked up snacks instead of breakfast and refueling, and we're going to keep heading north to Healy. We're at the entrance of Denali National Park. I stopped into the visitor center to charge up the Delta EcoFlow and get a weather report for the night. And then we drove up to Healy because I'm notorious for leaving things, and this trip I left my gloves and a hat at home. Haven't needed them the entire trip until tonight, but definitely going to need them tonight because it is currently negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is also negative 40 degrees Celsius. We got everything into the tent. We got Odin situated. He's hanging out up below. We've got the heater running, which is what that clicking is in the background. It's negative 40 outside right now, so that heater is going to be running on full power all night. We topped up the jerry can, so it'll probably go through a gallon and a half, maybe 2 gallons of fuel. We recharged the Delta 2, so that's ready to go. The Expion360 is fully charged. We got everything into the truck. Whew, my ears are starting to thaw. The heater is running at full blast, which is what that noise is in the background. But Odin's in, all the gear is kind of shuffled in. I've got food and drinks and everything set up. I'm gonna end up cooking dinner in the tent tonight just because of how cold it is outside. I have a feeling if I tried boiling water outside, as soon as it boiled, it would freeze instantly, even in the jet boil. So we've got the GFC platform set up, and I'm gonna get the jet boil out, fuel out, get some water in, and start boiling it. It'll create some condensation in here, but realistically, everything is already covered in a layer of frost, just absolutely absurdly cold. So let's get some dinner. Looks like the burner is stuck at the bottom of the mug from the last time we made dinner, so I'm trying to thaw it out using the diesel heater. Yep, had some ice on it. Go figure. that's heating up. We're doing some chicken teriyaki rice from Peak Refuel. Dinner is now ready, so I'm gonna eat. I just went out and set up the time-lapse camera. The Aurora is coming up and over the mountains directly behind me, and was out for maybe a minute and a half, and you can tell my nose is bright red, my fingers are frozen and a little numb, my ears are done, so not gonna do anything outside tonight. It's probably not safe, so gonna hop in the sleeping bag with the hover quilt, eat dinner, and then stay bundled up and change out the time lapse in a couple hours and refresh the batteries. Good morning. It's 7:15. I had just gotten up and started the truck. I was up at about 4 o'clock this morning, set an alarm so I could turn on the engine heating system. Was monitoring the battery all night. It didn't drop below 45 degrees even though it was negative 40 almost all night. I just checked outside. It's warmed up a little bit now that the clouds are in, so it's about negative 33. But engine started, zero issues. Started as though it was midsummer. It was perfect. I ran it for about 4.5 hours. Excuse me. And had no issues. And the heater's been running all night. Hasn't been able to do much. There's frost on all of the aluminum parts, so I'm gonna have to defrost basically the entire inside of the tent once we get home. But we're gonna slowly pack up, take our time just because of how cold it is. So we'll do a little bit of packing and then warm back up, a little bit of packing, warm back up, and then we'll head north. Stopped in at the Denali Winter Visitor Center to recharge the Delta 2, warm up a little bit, use some of the Wi-Fi, and process the time lapses from last night. Overall, last night was perfectly fine. It was comfortable. It was, I'd say, miserable for the 10 minutes of setup and 10 minutes of teardown this morning. Where I had to be outside in the negative 30, negative 40 degrees. But once I actually got into the tent and the heater was on, it was like any other night. So I'd give credit to Aeronaut and their hover quilt. So I'll give credit to Aeronaut and the hover quilt, and then the diesel heater. Once everything was up and running, perfectly toasty and comfortable, and then tossed 4 hand warmers into my LLB sleeping bag just to get it started warming up, and then stuffed the hover quilt inside the sleeping bag. And outside of the Hest memory foam being a little hard, just given how cold it was, slept perfectly fine. It was just below freezing in the tent, and then it was about 55 degrees in the truck bed. So the heater kept the truck bed where Odin and all the drinks and batteries and stuff were, about 90 degrees warmer than outside temperatures, and then it got us about 60 degrees warmer than outside temperatures. So ended up being super comfortable. But we're gonna leave Denali National Park and head north to Fairbanks.